Dear brothers and sisters, normally I write down my homilies, but last Friday we had a bit rearranged the connections in our house, in the bishop's house. We bought a new server and we somehow connected all the printers. And today in the morning I wanted to print my homily and I was not able. I am not so strong in electronical things. So I sent it electronically to my phone, and I will just try to use this phone talking to you. First of all, I would like to greet all of you who are for the first time in this Mass. I know that in the first row there are people from the States. The lady is originally from Serbia, if I am not mistaken. They come from Florida, and I greet them. And every one of you who came, we are always happy if people come to join our Mass and to worship God. Dear brothers and sisters, if I want to sum up today's readings, the three readings that we heard, the message of these three readings I can express with the help of three words which all begin with the W. It is water, it is worship, and the third word is woman. The first reading tells us the story of the rebellion of the people of God. Israel, after leaving Egypt, they enjoyed the freedom, but when they arrived to the desert and as they started passing through the desert, finally they discovered they don't have enough water. And we know that at that time it was normal, and today it is normal too. We will not find too much water in desert places. This was true, and it is even more true today. Large areas of our earth are getting more and more devastated by human activity and through the climate changes we experience nowadays. Today's reading is a cry of the thirsty people of this world, asking us to provide for them clean water, sufficient water, enough for the future generations. In my former diocese, Zrenjanin, on the other side of Danube, we have 4 big rivers and several smaller waterways. But still, we do not have drinking water in our towns, because the drinking water is too much polluted and there are no cleaning facilities in the towns. This is surely due not to climate changes, but to the weakness and corruptions of companies and political actors who do not take steps to prevent such a bad situation. And in my town, Zrenjanin, in the 15 years I have spent there as a bishop, 4 times they made different projects, and around 40 million euros was just thrown out, and we still do not have drinking water from a tap, so we have to buy. The first reading calls us to provide water for our generation and for the future ones. The second word, worship. Where and how? In the Gospel, the question was, where is the right place to worship God? In Samaria or Jerusalem? Jesus somehow relativized the content of these questions in 2 different senses. First, through saying that the most important thing by worship is not the place, but the person whom we worship. And the person is Jesus Christ, the incarnate God, Son of God. So it is not important where we worship, but how we do. The spiritual approach is the most important. The second thing, he put Jerusalem on the same level as the top hill in Samaria. And the Jews thought that Jerusalem is the the only center of God on this earth. And the Samaritans thought that it is their place. They believed it. For Jesus, there is no place which is more important than another one. And it is true even today in our Catholic or Christian world. Even if we have beautiful basilicas and churches like St. Peter in Rome or S.V.D. in Belgrade, it is not the building which makes up for our worship, but it is our heart. And the third W is woman. In the Catholic Church, nowadays the question of woman is one of the fundamental ones, if not the most important, at least in our developed world. The opinions are ranging between priesthood of women till the simple statement, everything is okay in this area and we don't need to change anything. People who stress this second opinion, the latter one, they will say Jesus did not want women too close to himself. They were not present in the Last Supper. Not a single woman was elected apostle, and so on. There are many other criteria and topics. Today's gospel shows us Jesus as a man, Son of God, who breaks all social barriers. It was unheard of that a man will start a conversation with a stranger, especially with a woman, or even more, with a Samaritan woman. This was more at that time, as I dare to say it, as ordaining women today. We need the full participation of women in the life of our church. And I say full, and I must admit I don't know what does it really, what means. If I look around, and it is in all our Catholic churches, I see more women as men, even in this, our church. So I can say the presence, the physical presence of the women in the church is okay. But the second thing is, we have three monotheistic religions: Christianity, Islam, and the Jewish religion. If you look at a synagogue, 99% of people in the synagogue are men. If you look to a place of worship of Islam, only men are allowed to enter for prayers. And in the Catholic Church, we have mostly women for prayers. So I say, maybe it is okay, maybe it is not. We can answer for ourselves. I am sure that the physical presence is not the only form of your service, dear women, to the church or to our community. There are still many other places and areas where you can use your gifts and charismas. Dear brothers and sisters, the third Sunday of Lent is today. So we are almost in the middle of the Lenten season. We have to prepare ourselves for Easter. And at the end of my homily, I would like to add two other thoughts which are important out of today's readings. God is always with us. We saw it with Moses and the people of God in the desert. And He will always help when we need it. And the second thought, Jesus or God is taking always the first step. He was the one who approached the Samaritan woman. With these two positive thoughts, let us continue our Holy Mass. Amen.